we all know, India is now becoming a powerhouse on many fronts, with the fifth largest economy and growing. The per capita income of Indians is also growing almost every decade now. And one of the mantras which the IRDA chairman has taken is that every Indian needs to be insured by 2047. So that's okay. We have 2 decades away from there. But I think over the next decade, with people getting more educated and informed, thanks to social media, thanks to so many digital platforms, I think the insurance penetration is bound to increase. We like it or not like it, whether we push it or not push it, we keep saying insurance is a push product. But either ways, I think people will become more and more receptive to the idea of insurance. Otherwise, in India, people, if you went back a decade, people would say, मेरे को कुछ नहीं होगा, मेरे पड़ोसी को बेचो. Correct? I'm going to be safe. But thanks to COVID, it has taught people a lot more. It's made people a lot more sensible. Today, people are much more receptive to the idea of insurance, and I think this will just continue to increase, especially with tier 2 and tier 3 towns where a lot of wealth is getting created now and the purchasing power is also increasing. I think those are the places to look forward for increasing the penetration of insurance. Back to the point of your collaboration between InsurTech, I think they play a very critical role. I think most fintechs have flourished not only in India but across the globe by identifying a problem area and then giving a solution. Here, they clearly understood that for banks to integrate with so many insurance partners, and especially after the entire corporate agency model has now got opened up, where you had 3 partners and now you can actually have 27 partners. So there is a clear need to integrate with, say, if not 27, at least 8 or 9, which most banks today have. And they are fulfilling that need, which is the requirement for the bank, for the distributor very well. And of course, this does well for the insurance companies also, because the penetration can increase with that in that space. So we all know that the penetration of mobile phones in India, we all know the penetration of 4G in India. I think government has built 2 wonderful stacks over the last decade and a half. One is Aadhaar stack and the other is the UPS stack. These 2 stacks have done wonderfully to penetrate to the last mile. Today, even the villager has an account. A lot of money is getting transferred directly from the government into the hands of the underprivileged, which is then getting consumed. I mean, once you transfer the money into their account, they need money. And how do you withdraw it? You withdraw it through micro ATMs and ATMs and so on and so forth. So I think the divide, it will not divide the country. I think it will just unite the country that much more digitally. And we are finding now that people even in the villages are consuming insurance as a product category, are even putting claims for health as well. So that education has gone down to them as well. कि insurance किसी ने सिर्फ बेचा नहीं है, this is for my own good and I can actually take benefit out of it. So I think the regulator after a while has really played a very crucial role and is very forward looking. I mean, there was a time when insurance companies would wait for months to launch a product. Today they can launch it if they conceive it within 30 days. And insurance is saying file and use. So you can actually, instead of file and use, you can actually use and then file now. So the whole methodology or the approach of the insurance regulator is very, very forward looking, which is very interesting. I mean, when I meet my friends from the insurance companies, they all have targets as to, and they've all adopted states now, that how can they increase the penetration in that particular state, which is very, very, I think, interesting. So that's the reason I say that there is no way that the insurance penetration and volumes is going to kind of reduce at all, or the growth will slow down, or the growth that we have shown, I think it will just increase from here onwards to that extent. So that the way the regulator has played a very, very important role. Some of the other policies that they have come out in the recent past are very forward looking. They are ironing out a lot of issues for the entire insurance industry, intermediaries and the distributors alike. So in good old days, if you go back 10 years and if you go back 20 years, every policy had to be filled, multiple pages, tons of signatures to be taken, and then the insurance policy would get logged into the system. Today, I don't think so. Any of the insurance companies that I operate with at all use pen and paper. Maybe 1% of the policy is done on pen and paper. everything is done through digitally. And insurance companies have also, whether it's through a link or through a DIY, tablet or something that the frontline executive is using it. So all policies are getting sold through a digital means. Does it mean that the client is buying it on his own? The answer is no. I think the nature of the beast for some time to stay, till the products start to get simplified, will be phygital. So there will be a physical interface wherein somebody has to explain the policy and buy. But there you see that if the insurance manufacturers start to simplify the products, then more and more people will buy digitally without actually using a human interaction. We started to see that a little bit on the motor side. We started to see that in the little bit on the health side, travel a lot more. On the life, little less. The other piece, what this does is that, especially for banks, once you integrate through an InsurTech partner or somebody, a lot of data which is captured of the client in the core banking system gets transferred immediately to the insurance company with the consent of the client, of course. So that makes the entire process of filling so many fields in a form much, much more simpler. So from a selling perspective, the frontline executive's job is becoming that much more easier now.